Okay, so we are now going to discuss um, some of the more controversial compromises that were made in the writing of our Constitution. The other day we talked about the Virginia plan, the New Jersey plan, and the Connecticut Compromise having to do with representation per state, okay? Whether it be based on population or based on state, we have both. We decided, we compromised that we would allow both per state, two per state in the Senate, based on population in the House of Reps. Well, then here comes the real sticky part. Whoa. And the problem is that the problem we're going to find is that in the South, they have less voters than in the North, but more people than in the North, if you count slaves. Now, should slaves be counted when it comes to apportionment of representatives in the House of Representatives? Southern senators say, yeah, look, we're going to count all people. Slaves are people. Therefore, we're going to have more members of the House of Representatives, which also equals more members of the Electoral College than you. Northerners said, no, no, no. We only count voters. And since you guys don't treat slaves like people, we're only going to base the apportionment of representatives in the House of Representatives based on non-slaves, based on non-slaves that live in your land. Okay? And this was a sticking point, and it may have caused the Constitution to explode, that our country would not work, because the southern states kept saying, no, we have to count slaves, and the northern states say, no, you can only count voters. Let's make this, your property doesn't matter in this debate. And what they decided was, we want to have equal representation. Okay, let's make equal representation in the North and the South. How do we do that? Well, I know we're going to count slaves as 3/5 of a person. Okay, and this influences not only apportionment membership in the House of Representatives, but it also impacts the Electoral College, because the Electoral College is members of the House plus members in the Senate. So we have an election coming in 35 days, and we know that popular vote doesn't choose elections in America. What does is the Electoral College. Well, how do these states get these numbers? How did California get 55 and Wyoming get 3? Alaska get 3? The answer is Montana get 3, because it's the 2 members of the Senate plus the 1 member in the House. While in California, it's the 2 members of the Senate versus the 53 members in the House. Okay, so this is not only going to impact how much representation each state has in the House of Representatives, but it's also going to impact who's president because of the Electoral College. This, to this day, impacts our country. We know that of the last 5 elections, 2 of them, the person with the most votes didn't win. And that's because of the Electoral College, and that's because of the 3/5 compromise. So this is all connected into our modern system. And some people suggest that the Electoral College allows politicians not to find compromise with each other, but to find differences and to divide America versus bring America together. Other people suggest that the Electoral College is wonderful and it allows for states, for big states not to dominate. You decide.